down to the baseline. Get down to the baseline.
smoke. She's gonna go down. Woxic with the AWE
position. Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on to 2. Back row tire down as well.
Liquid always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? Oh, there we go.
LOOT.BET.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
Welcome back, folks, to the best of 3 we've all been waiting for. It's Heretics versus Sprout, and Tom, this one is going to be an incredible best of 3, I believe. You've got 2 very well-matched teams who are both on very good form right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be definitely the best match that I've casted in LOOT.BET so far. I would be surprised if it wasn't. We got 2 teams, 2 of their best maps coming up for the first couple of the series, and then a decider of Nuke, which should be very exciting. Obviously, Sprout's statistics were slightly damaged yesterday playing up against their German counterparts in the form of Big, but up until that part, they had a 13-match win streak on Mirage. Pretty damn ridiculous, especially considering it was, I think, all online. They're definitely looking like a team in form. And then on the other side, Heretics recently bringing in Navarra, as many will know, is Scream's brother or cousin or something. And yeah, he's been actually tearing it up since he joined the squad, looking like a great addition to the team. We've seen Lucky playing in form alongside Maka as well. It's just been good performances across the board for both sides. And as said, up until yesterday, both teams were on a very big winning streak. Of course, Big, unfortunately, managing to ruin that for Sprout, but even still, that puts them in a good stead to try and take this one home. It's one of the playoffs matches as well, so one of these teams will be heading through. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a banger of a game.
Hopefully it delivers, and what a map to start things off. Vertigo, a map where we have seen some pretty good results from actually both of these teams, but Sprout especially, if I recall, have been a team who have been one that have been very solid. But Heretics actually, 100% win rate over the last 5 maps of Virgo.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost turned from maybe a bit of a pocket pick to something that's firmly within their choices now. And yeah, I think more teams need to be adapting this map, and plenty within the top tier now. I'm more than happy to play this. We saw it played in the NA Grand Final yesterday between Liquid and EG. And that's the thing, like most teams now, if you want to be a very top team and then within the top 5, you need to have a 6-map pool. And Vertigo can't be one that you're just perma-banning anymore. It's something that's definitely become popular. Maka, he's about to come under some pressure, though, in a very aggressive start coming out from Sprout. Looking to try and end that for the French side. And XMS coming under pressure. Maka will be able to pick off one, able to trade things. In fact, 2 kills for him. The headshots flying in with Lucky. One more to the CT side. Unless there's the kit on the floor, then there isn't one available for the CTs to actually defuse this bomb, so they need to get their move on very quickly, and Dia is going to put an end to another life. A second for the pole as well, and it leaves all onto Navarra. Not going to be able to do anything, and Sprout are going to take the pistol round.
For the most part, very clean. I mean, the 3 kills that come through there are pretty nice. Has to be said. And oh, you can see the comparison on your screen. 5 maps played on either side. Let's say both teams pretty comfortable on Vertigo. That said, Sprout, they get off with the right foot forward, now looking for their second as well. No force up from Heretics, they're going to play this one safe, so this one should come pretty easily for the T-side.
Having an 89% win rate after getting the first, that's really impressive. Like, sure, they've not got a massive amount of maps played, but still, that is a crazy stat to have. Like, basically saying that they're very, very good at trading and converting their rounds out. So we'll have to see if that continues for Heretics. Of course, this round, one where they were just hoping to do a little bit of damage, but Sprout actually do a very good job of just keeping things nice and clean. Lots of kills coming up with the SMGs as well to farm up some extra cash. But this is what the CT side were waiting for, and we're actually going to see them drop down to the Famises just to make sure that they have that extra utility. Also allows for some head armor on some of the players who, well, knowing the likelihood of coming up against an SMG or even a Galil in this scenario. XMS looking like he's about to come under some pressure. He does have the utility just to hold them back that little bit longer, but these early peaks from Sprout are absolutely fine. It means that they can bait out some utility. They haven't had to throw much of their own, and it puts XMS in a bit more of an awkward position now because there's still a minute and a half left on the clock, and he's already used all of his utility.
Flashes galore, but no peaks taken. A very still passive Sprout side who, well, with a minute on the clock, definitely do not want to force the issue here. Imagine they're waiting to see if Heretics decide to get aggressive, which they will do. They give them the chance for that first kill, but Maka takes it hands down, finds the frag on Fathom. And that sets up the CT side rather nicely now, because they don't need to be searching for anything else. They have the information of what they expect is coming, which it will be this B play. If they didn't, well, they'll certainly look and hear all this utility coming their way. Now they just have to try and hold on desperately so as Dennis kick things off. A lot of damage done, but not really any frags. In the end, it seems to be Sprout dropping like flies.
Yeah, Navarra in a good position to try and deny the bomb, but just wants to wait for his teammates to come in for support. Both players now desperately low on the T side, and smart stuff. I'm not giving Oscar really a chance to win that, and there's going to be a few upgrades for the CT side on the remaining rounds. Of course, that was a bit of a bonus coming in for Sprout. They still had some SMGs in play there, Galil as well, and the bomb plant will mean that they're able to basically keep their finances sound. One or two players might be a little bit off on cash, but they definitely do have the money to be able to upgrade them. I'm also interested to see if we'll get much T-side AWPing, because it's definitely not the most common thing when it comes to Vertigo. There's a few angles that you could take the battle. For example, if your opposition is getting quite aggressive on the ramp, the AWP is definitely something that can be brought in. And with someone as proficient with that gun as Oscar, you could definitely make an argument for bringing it in. But for now, it's just going to be the flat rifles. They had the money in that round that they could have invested into it if they desired. But for now, with maybe these faster plays being in their playbook, the decision is to go without one. And what a start from Maka. He captures Faven early, does not allow for his aggression to be successful, and they have now dominated control of the A ramp.
It's the second time that Maka's been able to get this pick on towards Faven. Really not an ideal start to the round at all for Sprout. There's nothing they can really do. It looks like they're just going to get into the same position. If anything, Maka might even know what's coming here. Just drops the nade. Spinny actually just gets wallbanged. I mean, this is a disaster of a start for Sprout.
Well, they have managed to sneak their way out middle, of course. Without the door there anymore, it's a little bit harder to split into the site. You do have to wrap around the outside, and there are already players holding that position. Maka is around the angle. It's looking like Sprout are just going to try and force the issue onto this B site once again. Molotov falling down. Bit of a crossfire here for the CT side, but it's actually the T's to get one entry. They need a second on the XMX, and they will eventually find that kill, but trades come back thick and fast again. Maka doubling up his kill tally and also helping to double up their rounds.
This puts Sprout in a really rough spot. There's nothing they can really fall back on now. Losing that first round, not all that bad. It was the bonus. Losing the full by then, there's just nothing left. It will have to be the full eco. We're barely even going to see upgraded pistols. It's going to be P250s, the Eagles. That will be all. This should be very easy for Heretics to close, and from there, they'll take the lead. So, not the greatest of starts, really, for the CT side, but, well, they come back after losing the pistol pretty perfectly once on the buy.
But he is still going to be able to do some damage with the Dirty Deeg. And with Lucky already low on health, they do have to be careful here. This is a minute investment. I'm kind of hoping that that rifle finds its way into Faven's hands. Maybe switch over the Deeg onto Dennis and basically have more of an opportunity of that rifle actually doing some work. Keo not going to try and cover off any split back in the other direction, and with Oscar going down, they do start to clean things up a little bit, but Lucky's actually going to fall. Maka now manning his AWP, but this is going to be a split in towards XMS. He's now going to come under a lot of pressure. He does manage to line up a couple, but Faven very quick with that Deeg to trade. That should allow them a bomb planter. This is already a hugely successful round for Sprout, don't get me wrong. But can they do anything more? Not for Dennis at least, and now Faven with everything to do. Only 12 HP, and it comes very close to a kill on Mac. Unfortunately, with only 14 HP, and with only 12 at that time for Faven, he's not going to be able to do anything more. So, 3 kills at a bomb plant. Massively successful round for Sprout. And now they're going to be able to buy up with whatever they desire. Still not looking like the AWP will be coming in just yet. Oscar not quite with the finances, and it would have meant they had to take a hit on utility or even a player not having any head armor, which versus the CT side, not ideal. And while Sprout have forced an awful lot of rebuys here, so the T's can break back in this round. It's going to be a bit of an awkward position in the next for Heretics.
That's what we want to see, though. We want to see Sprout get a buy run on the board, because we haven't actually seen a single gun round success from them yet. That's the thing to keep in mind. It's only been the work they were able to do in that first and second round, so they have to show us something, otherwise it looks like Heretics, immediately after recovering from that first sort of 2-round stint, basically have crushed it. Scoreline doesn't quite reflect it, but that really is the truth. No really early shenanigans, at least for Sprout, not losing the likes of Faven early on. Not really gaining any map control either, though. They are getting close to being able to push up on towards B if they want it, but they haven't really done all that much here. Molly will come through, but doesn't present a frag opportunity, unfortunately.
Yeah, patience from Sprout. They do seem to be having a heavy focus on the B side. That's not something you see too often when it comes to this map. A executes are very common, but I suppose so far Heretics have done a good job of really just not allowing them that space, not allowing them to get anywhere near the ramp. So by the looks of it, they're either going to have to go for a late take into the back of A, which might actually be the case here, but good Molotov usage, perfect from Kiyoshima as well. 2 headshots to just leave this T side with nothing left, and it's almost like they have a stranglehold on Sprout at the moment. They're just forcing them into the angles, into the battles that they want, and that is a fantastic CT round from Heretics. They don't allow them the ramp. They force them to try and wrap around the back of A, and at that point they still had an incendiary and Kiyoshima making sure the ramp was covered, so there was no way they get into that site. Heretics, already a joy to watch on Vertigo. And the T's, well, I'm sure they're not enjoying it half as much as I am.
Almost certainly. They have to half by here. That's all they can really afford. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see some more sort of hard and fast B hits here, because every time they've gone A, they either lose a player within the first 10 seconds and then lose the round 30 seconds later, or they just get completely picked apart on their execute. But they've yet to see any signs of success towards an A play. Same start here, unfortunately. Navera kicked things off. Maka then with a second frag as well. Of course, it is just pistols and Kevlar in play, so not expecting the world, but at least they could maybe get a frag into the round, an inch on the CT side.
Yeah, the thing is though, in the last pistol round, they were actually able to get away with quite a lot. This A site seems like it's on lockdown at the moment though. Sure, a couple of tags hit onto 3 different players, but not really anything to worry about if you're on the Heretics side. Money is now booming.
This game is gone. They have no money again to really do anything in this round, just pistols, Kevlar, and that hasn't really worked for them recently. As you said before, they've had a couple of few good picks, they maybe got some damage here and there, but that's all. We haven't seen them actually have a chance at a round, and this could be 7-2, Tom. I mean, what a start for Heretics. Flawless Counter-Strike on their CT side Vertigo, and what a way to kick off this series. I think they have to make a statement really going into second map. Of course, that is the Sprout home ground, so not a bad way to show up early on. Heretics really do mean business.
Well, Faven again. He seems to be the only man able to do too much in this game so far, at least when the pistols are involved. Actually going to boost back up into mid. I suppose they still have to retreat the bomb. It's not in the most comfortable position and just absolutely wrecked by Lucky. It's definitely good to see him bounce back like in this team. It has to be said, like it didn't go too well in his days in G2, but he's killing it in Heretics. And this roster, I think it shows not only the depth of the French scene, but also the opportunities that are there for organizations to pick up some of the young talent that's coming through. 7-2. France versus Germany, normally a strong matchup when it comes to football, but so far the French are absolutely dominating when it comes to Counter-Strike. Dennis and Co being a bit more patient in this round. I think they're going to try and wait for some of the utility to fade. They tried this previously and it did not work at all. Lucky actually somewhat out in the open. And this time they're actually going to win that opening duel for the first time in quite a while. Somebody's actually going to boost to Maka's position. The nade's going to go just past it. Nice work from Faven. That's now a double opener. The only one standing, and he's not going to be able to do anything. Oscar's AWP has found that third and final man. This A site. And while this surely has to be the left, right, and center, and finally managing to punish the aggression of Belgium left. WP.
Nothing he can really do here apart from that, unfortunately. Sprout stepping up and actually opening pick because it starts to the frag, and from there everything really starts to kind of an unconventional position with you all. We don't often, at least I haven't seen it too much, and it's punished if you can get yourself far enough up ramp through the scaffolding to actually take that duel against him and get away with it. So not a bad start from, or at least a gun round on the board, but what are they going to be able to do with it? They have to be able to take this and really build from this now, because if they don't, likely their motivation back all out of favour.
Well, yeah, this is basically all or nothing. Built up behind them, trying for Sprout no matter the outcome. But they definitely haven't not pushing this. Nice shot though from Dennis once again. That's 2 rounds in a row now. He's managed to open up the more experienced members of this Sprout roster. Them through a second for Oscar as well. That aided counter, and I think the patience is through that smoke and trying to fight through it made by Heretics, and a little bit of a loophole in the defense. 3 players standing in their way, and actually all on A. Now with players, a lot of information gathered by the T side, and more importantly, map control. The question is, do they actually check into the back of the B side when they go that way? Oscar's so quick on the flick. We'll let them another, but they are continuing towards A. It's one of the only ways that the T's could win this, but the timing works out wonderfully. I think Kyo's about to be surrounded in on. Good round from Sprout once again. And once more, it's down to Dennis with those opening picks.
Feels like that's very much what this game's going to come down to at this point, is can Sprout find that first and even second duel just to start strong? Look at that shot from Oscar. That nasty stuff. Good to see that 4th round in play though. Sprout in desperate need of linking these together, it has to be said. So they're delivering, they're doing their job. Now they're just trying to make it to 5, trying to make the best of their T half here. And again, it's okay, how quickly can we get our ramp? How quickly can we deny that first pick from the CT side? And if anything, how quickly can we open up the round? Favon, a double kill through the fire and the flames. What a way to kick things off. Lucky will a quick trade. P, things may not be all that dire. See how they play the rest of this round out.
It's definitely not done just yet. It looked like it from the entries. Their player may seem like he's dead on the A site. Initially, an absolute bunker of defense, main form of offense for going down. Lucky taking a big teammate, so the risk may not be necessary. Cheese, I wonder if they'll try and just dunk it on. At this stage, it's looking like it will be Thea. Bullets in return, and Oscar has finish off Favon, but that's not. On the CT side, so low on HP. I'm just going to have a streak of rounds coming back for Sprout. But I think as well, they realized that it was just some, I don't know, from the Heretic side. Whereas when they started to counter them, wait a little bit more, be a bit more patient, and basically just hit their shots on the entry, things started to fall apart for the French side.
That's the beauty of this game, though. Sprout 3 rounds now. Their money's really starting to build up, and in the end, this makes them much more competitive. What rounds would you be expecting, Tom? What's your...
I think it's another one of those maps where it really does depend on like how much utilities and how much money's actually been there for the CT side, because it is still fairly up in the air, like in terms of how balanced this map is. I would still lean it slightly towards the T side, but ultimately for now, I think they're going to be aiming for at least 7. I think that'll be the goal for Sprout with how things have been going so far. especially now with the string of momentum. Like, if they just end this half 10-5, I think they'll be bitterly disappointed, and they've got very, very close to breaking the Heretics economy. So I do think Vertigo's one of the more even maps, but it's in a sense of like Inferno, where if all of the utility can be built up, you can get the AWP, the incendiaries, and basically everything Heretics had in the early rounds, you really can build up a strong CT half. However, not going so well. They don't actually check the sandbags, however, and that's their downfall. Lucky. Going to be picking up a double. Another kill even coming in. Back at the FAMAS for Navarra and leaving Dia and Oscar alone. The mistakes of not clearing that position have definitely come back to bite them. Normally a position molotoved by the majority of teams, but I do believe that was just more of an attempt, though, and with Belgium young, there's a chance for the pole to cause some havoc.
25 seconds, so they are going to have to prioritize getting that bomb down, though. All that time spent gives XMS the time to come in from behind. Look at for a second. Heretics get a 3-round stint from a Sprout before being shut. Unfortunate, really, because they were right on the cusp of having their economy broken. Timing for them to pick up a round.
Yeah, let's go put the French side back up onto 8. There's been a good half from them, for sure. And I slightly lean it to the T side, but it really is much of a muchness at this point. I think it also depends on the team. Here we go. Secondary ult purchased up once again. It's not really had too much impact yet for Navarra. XMS actually somewhat sectioned out of the site, but it's going to be the rat back towards the ramp. Maybe just trying to force some players off. And look at the CT rotation. At the moment, at least. They're in the wrong place, but they are going to start doubling back. Look to try and support Maka, who is the lone defender of this ramp. Someone who looks like he's about to be pressured by the T's.
It's a very patient T side, just waiting for the smokes to fade, and as they do, the war paint comes on. They get ready to dart from the trenches into the site. Maka dropping the defensive smoke, and that completely, for now, what a nade as well. So much damage dished out by the CT side before... When it does, they just drop the hammer as he strikes on Oscar. Things only go from bad to worse as Maka and co pick them off. Spiddy Deacher actually getting 2 kills there. Might just so save the round for Sprout with Deacher getting lucky. It almost certainly has done. And he just keeps the 8 HP as he just walks into his crosshair.
I'm just going to leave him all on his own. Unfortunately, the state of this round means that he can't really go for an warp into the next round would be far more valuable. It's going to be a 8-6 scoreline. I decided to check, like, just out of interest, like the map statistics for both of these teams. Heretics were almost exactly 50-50 for how they do in either half, which, to be fair, if they get 8 rounds and then get done, Sprout, it was like 51-49. So both teams, that was slightly in favor of the T side. So it is fairly balanced at this point. Navarra, is he going to be able to save? No, he's not. Didn't expect Farven to come around from the flank. And Sprout slowly now grinding this back. It was a flying start for Heretics, but the Germans definitely showing that they're not going to be left out of this one just yet. Now the CT side, they're going to be left in a bit of trouble financially. They're still focusing heavily on utility, which from how they've been playing, especially the A side, that's understandable. They like to really control the ramp, try and take it away from Sprout, but Sprout realized fairly on in this match that even just being a little bit more patient, not battling straight away, can actually benefit them quite significantly. I'm actually going to be using the sandbag in the corner. to be spotted out. So that's actually a spot that I like to use when playing the CT side. If you can get deep in, drop off behind the beam, then when they run up the stairs, they're not going to see you. I do like finding my little gremlin spots that just trigger people in matchmaking.
That is the best way to describe it as well. It is quite literally a little gremlin spot.
I'm like the troll under the bridge. That's how I play Counter-Strike, because my aim's not good enough. So I just put myself in positions where I could be using a PP Bison and I would still get the kill. It's genius until you have to rotate and accidentally fall off the map. But other than that, it's absolutely fine.
Hey, you win some, you lose some.
It's going to be coming in. Oh, peek around the corner from XMS, not quite enough. And King Keo. Oh, okay. That was a little bit dirty, but it doesn't matter in the end. An 8-7 half. So I spoke about this map being relatively even in terms of the statistics. And there you go. About as even as you can get.
Especially considering just how the rounds are played out here. What's that? 7 rounds back to back here? A pretty impressive CT side stint, has to be said. Sprout saving themselves at the final moment, really. Can you imagine if they didn't start picking up those gun rounds? If they continue to struggle 8-9 rounds in? We'd be looking at a very different game here.
It's actually quite interesting now looking at the different map statistics for Vertigo, because until you asked me, I'd not really thought about it, like where I'd lean this map. And it really is, no matter what team you look at, it is basically 50-50. It's either 51-49, like for Astralis, it's 51-49 in favor of the CT side. Like, it's so unbelievably close. Well, in fact, it's not even 51, it's just
for the top 20 teams in Counter-Strike, it's 48-51. So that accurately sums it up, I think, in all fairness. That Vertigo
it doesn't accurately, because that would leave 1%, Ryan. Nonetheless.
You get the point. I can't do quick math, okay?
I'm just going to be able to hit some shots on his way out. 1% are just random.
It's just random. It's just undecided. The third team comes in play. The spectator.
Oh, the CT side have started this pistol off very strong indeed, but Maka still standing. He's got a lot of time. Now, that's the one benefit of going for such an aggressive rush push, is that if all of your teammates die, you have well over a minute to try and clean up the mess. The problem is 1 versus 2. He's the lower on HP. He's got a smoke, and the bomb's in a horrible spot, and he's also got a bullet in his head. Oscar is there to close that round out. I'm really looking forward to see him up to this CT side. But I have to say, when this map first came out, I hated it with a passion. I know you're still not a fan, Ryan, from what you've said before, which is fair enough. Each to their own. But I do enjoy watching players AWP down the ramp. We saw Maka do it in the last half, and I'm expecting Oscar to do it in this one. I will say his weaponry decision in this round is one that I do not condone. But, you know, if you're running and gunning, looking for a bit of fun, P90's for you.
MP7's doing a pretty good job of making some money as well. Jumping around, cleaning them up. I'll tell you what, the map's actually been growing on me. I'm not gonna lie. It's still not up there even in my top 5 Counter-Strike maps, to be quite frank, but it's definitely growing on me. It wasn't originally the map I hated to see.
There was a point where I also feel like, this coming from me especially, it sounds like a boomer quote, but it's like, there was a point where it seemed like it was cool to hate Vertigo. Where people were just like, oh, yeah, Vertigo sucks. Like, why? I don't know, I don't play it. It's like, well, yeah, all right, then. Of course you're going to hate it. Whereas now, I actually don't think it's too bad. Like, I think the top teams have found ways to play it. I think that there's decent timings a lot of the time. I think this battle for ramp is actually quite an interesting meta. And I think mid, by a lot of teams, is still fairly underutilized. We saw some attempts from Sprout in the last half to do it. But then there's the gamble of the CTs to try and hold on to their flank. How do they actually work to make sure that players can't wrap around on to the B side? It's got some layers to it, literally and in theory as well. So I don't know. It's definitely become something that's been more interesting. I like the fact that they removed the ability to look through the elevators, because I think it was one of the stupidest dynamics in any map ever.
It was the little things like that when Vertigo was released that made this a bit of a dumb one for the pool, but they have made little quality of life changes.
This little side panel as well. was actually, I like this, like their ability to wrap around onto the other side of the site, the closing off of the B site, so it's a little bit tougher to retake. They've made some nice changes, like credit where credit is due. I think that's something that the guys at CS have been doing quite well recently, but I guess with competition up and coming, they have to. Now, Kiyoshima, he is going to get that opening. Spiddy taking a bit of a risk. And speaking of risks, Oscar's still got his P90. We'll see whether or not it's quite as good as the Bison. Not quite. He's going to get wrecked. They're going to give the T side this man advantage. Now, they are slowly running out of time. 25 seconds. There's still 2 players on this site. The bomb actually just on the floor is being juggled around. And I wonder if the French side's starting to run out of time. Luckily, the kill coming in from the Belgium and the quick trade. They pounce together. They move as a unit. I think that's something that really has to be focused on when you speak of this Heretic side, especially it seems throughout iterations. I always seem to find that whenever you see this like third French team, that's the way I'm going to put it, the third French team always just seems like a group of players who are almost like identical twins. I suppose it wouldn't be twins if there's 5 of them, but you get the point. They just seem to run on the same wavelength, and it is impressive that this continues to happen throughout the French scene. Communication normally seems to be on point, and even then, like the timing of that push was spot on. Anything less than that, Spiddy has the chance to turn around and maybe win the round. They didn't give him that chance because they pincered him at exactly the same time. So good work from Heretics. Again, they're going to even up the scoreline. Dennis even going to go down at the end, so no MP9 save for him. And money is actually going to be a little bit of an issue. The one problem of even just investing into a P90, for example, a lot more expensive than something like a UMP, PP Bison, MP9, whatever other SMG you like. Also gives you a lot less of a reward. So there's going to be some pieces missing from this buy, but because they did keep it quite clean over the last couple of rounds, it's not too bad.
Looks like a quick pause, which I would imagine makes the most sense here for the Sprout side. Could be technical in nature, we frankly have no idea, but at least it is going to be a chance for Sprout to sit back for a second and start to discuss what they're thinking for CT. Obviously, they want to make sure they don't let Heretics start to break out too far ahead on these gun rounds, because I think Heretics are a team who, from just what I've seen so far in the last couple of best of 3s I've watched them in, once they pick up the pace, it's very difficult to stop them, really.
They are looking to try and continue to challenge that ramp once again. Nade actually going to be dunked onto Navarra, so his lurk over on the B site might be a little bit diminished in this round. Of course, the CT side can't actually afford to challenge ramp for too long, and I wonder if Heretics are actually going to take advantage of this. Now, the main reason I say this is because going into this round, either they would have reduced weaponry or reduced utility. That's the last smoke, I believe they have. There is one more onto Dennis. 30-40 seconds, but even minute for this Heretic side to execute. They're actually going to be spamming through, and they have lost this battle by quite a margin. Dia, he's going to manage to do the work. I have to say, after his days in aristocracy, I'm quite pleased to see that he has got back on his feet in a new squad. Massive talent from Poland. He is a beast of a player. It is a shame that Taz's roster didn't go too well. I would have loved to see that team succeed, but obviously without financial backing, it's quite difficult. And a good pickups from Sprout in general after losing 2 of their best players to the mighty Big. But here we go. We're going to see if they can hold on with that last 30 seconds.
So perfect there for the headshot. Fortunately, just can't quite see it. Uso the top using, fortunately, just still cannot see a thing. Just gonna have to wait. Get a little aggressive once the smokes begin to fade. They do have the man advantage on the retake, but just doesn't seem like they can really do anything with it. Navarra makes the push, in fact, forces the first kill towards this T side. Lucky next in line, Fafan only good for 1. I think this round might be done. running out of time here. 10 seconds to work with to get the frag on Kiyoshima. He's 3 HP. Just not got it in him.
Ooh, that was unbelievably close.
That was really
We're watching
close.
Dennis having a little jaunt around the map, but the fact is that we hear the bomb almost go off. Not quite the point of view I would have liked to see, if I'm honest, but, you know. Beggars can't be choosers. And the CT side, just about making that work. Now, the T's are actually going to risk it for a biscuit. This buy is nowhere near perfect. They've got one player on a pistol. They've got some utility missing. Definitely seeing more and more Tech 9s. And this is the same deep smoke we're seeing almost every single time now. Extames already going to lose his life to Oscar. Remember, they're on a 100% win streak. Look at that from Maka, though.
My goodness.
That is clean as it gets. Both players gone within a clip. And now Faven, he's had to rotate in quickly to try and secure this A site from falling into enemy hands. He does have support. Spiddy's rotated in, still using that trusty AUG. Nice shot from Faven as well. Beast with the AK is going to put Maka down. No more heroics from him. And Faven clearly feeling confident, maybe a little bit over the top as he looks to push through. Spiddy trying to tap. She takes a lick of damage from the Molotov, and a second one attempted to be thrown in. Instead, it's the nade to actually do the majority of the damage. No denial of this bomb can happen, and Spiddy will be waiting for Dennis's support. The issue, though, a singular kit, not much utility. 3 T players just waiting back passive. I don't really see a way that they win this round, especially with Spiddy being so tagged. Dennis even going to start to take damage through the wall. Smoke will be thrown on. And they do actually manage to release some damage, but it won't matter in the end. Heretics are going to trade out those final couple of kills. And if I'm being brutally honest, I would have quite liked to see the guys at Sprout just save those 2 guns, because now their money really is going to be in turmoil.
Look at that, though. I mean, that is just crispy play from Maka. What a way to open up the site. You've got to be fuming if you're on the receiving end of that. Just one player waltzes in, sprays you both down with headshots. It's just nasty, nasty stuff. But that ties us up 10 for 10, and likely hands over the lead here to Heretics, given that Sprout only have the pistols in play. And, I mean, look how broken their money is right now. I mean, you've got Deecher, $1,000 in the bank after buying Kevlar and Deeper. Really not ideal. They kind of spent some money into that round, but didn't wholly commit. And that forces them, of course, to have to save again here.
Well, Heretics 5 rounds away from keeping their 100% record over the last few months. And as you mentioned, the CT side still don't have money to buy into this one. I think they're just trying to balance the cash a little bit in the last round, knowing that this would be a double eco. Navera trying to get himself some padded stats. Ends up actually handing an AK away now. It would be a fairly long save in this round. They're actually going to put pressure onto a second player as well. This could be Dennis. Well, a double kill, but not quite the one he was hoping for. They've done some serious damage already in this round, but with both players already half HP or below, those AKs will be far more valuable going into the next round than trying to kill off more of the French side in this one.
Heretics looking in a really good position now. Start to build up these rounds and take it away. You talk about that streak, you'd be wrong to discredit it, I think, and say, oh, just the quality of teams is poor, or something like that, or it's online CS. They've beaten some pretty good teams. Good talk at issue. Sprout have been a bit of a beast there as well. Just that being Mirage. 10 games? I can't recall the stat you mentioned.
13.
13. I mean, that is just...
I can go back and do some counting if that helps. Well, they've got 14 maps played in the last 3 months. They've lost 1 to Big yesterday. Yeah, other than that, it was 13 games, 1 in a row on Mirage. Beating, they even beat Big back last month. AGO, Dignitas, some more rosters in there. Haven't played Heretics on it though, so we'll have to wait and see.
XMS. Buddy, that's not the one.
Actually, he didn't realize that he was. Kirishima will be able to trade one back though. They're still finding kills across the map. This is still looking like a lucky. A little bit wary that maybe that Molotov didn't quite go far enough. Of course, the spam through the wood can do a lot of damage. I've said it before, I'll say it again. S-Tag is someone that you want to be watching if you want to try and learn some of those. Obviously, right now, he is quote-unquote benched because he is waiting for his contract to end before he can play for Astralis. But he has some serious talent when it. So go back, watch some of the Heroic demos. You can watch Heretics play right now. Maybe they've been watching S-Tag demos. There you go, Oscar. Elevated angle. Bomb is going to be able to cross the site. And actually, the T's have got an entry on their way. Quick trade coming in from Dia. He's managed to make his way around the corner. A second one for the pole, the last player so desperately low. And he's going to close this out all on his own. His teammates sat back, just watching the show from the pole. At least a comfortable bed to lie in for XMS after being burnt alive. 12 to 11. Heretics definitely be given a run for their money here. Of course, money is one thing they do actually have remaining. Macca's going to buy up the AWP on the T side. It's something that we've seen a few times now. Oscar was able to make it work quite successfully, especially around this ramp. And Macca's patient. It seemed like that shot was going to be spot on, but it's actually him to take the tag. Oscar clearly a little bit quicker on the trigger. Maybe shooting between his legs. But that is not the start that the AWPA was hoping for going into this round.
Thankfully, he is still standing. He's able to do something with that AWP, providing he sets himself up correctly. Looks like it will be just more and more pressure applied to ramp. Oscar ready and waiting to get a pick, but Molly out of position. Just what you like to see. Actually, I like how they re-molly that, just to make sure that no map control is gained. "48 seconds though, Tom. Heretics do like leaving it to the absolute last minute here. Reminiscent of what we saw in the first half as well. Both teams trying to really just maximize the time they have on their ramp take, leaving it right down to the last second before they do bite that bullet.
That flashbang was spot on, but it only gets him one kill. At least denies the T's that little bit further. They're going to start their wraparound, but Dia really has been a thorn in their side over the last few rounds. They're looking to try and defend this bomb plant. Hole trying to spam through. He spots a man crossing back, and actually, Dennis is going to be caught, but still Oscar's found another. Dia's going to go down to Navarra. He's got his second kill of the round already, and Oscar going to try and make some presence known. They want to pincer them in. Faven coming in from behind is already going to get himself a freebie. Looks for the second, but can't quite connect. And Oscar just has to try and stick this defuse. I don't think he's going to be getting it. The execution comes in the end, and Heretics just about squeeze out another round.
That is incredibly close. If they're able to win that duel, that's a guarantee round for them there. But by just letting him stay alive, rotate back up through ramp, it comes down to when does he peek? How much of a bait does he think this defuse is? So unfortunate.
I have to say, it's the first time casting Scream's little brother for me, and I'm enjoying it. This kid's got some talent. It is amazing how just like the depth. I suppose he's Belgian, but I still count it as the French scene because ultimately that's where they come to play. The depth within these different teams just to find players out of absolutely nowhere. I still remember watching AAA play with Zywoo on it when he was like, what, 16? Just acing pistol rounds in MDL for fun. And all of us just sat there waiting going, Yeah, can you join one of the good teams now, please? please. We want to see you wreck face, and he has. Oscar is banging it with the Deagle this round, though. 2 headshots to start things off.
Hello.
Another coming in for Dia as well. He's another man where, as said, I'm loving watching him play. I'm a big fan.
Just want to point out, Tom,
Kyo.
that a whole bunch of pistols with barely any Kevlar have got themselves in what was a 3-on-1 for Kiyoshima. Just putting that out there. This round has been...
It was a 4.
This is ridiculous. We talk over it as if nothing crazy is going on, but this shouldn't be a round that Sprout really had much say in. They didn't have Kevlar on. I believe only 2 players had Kevlar there. Let's see. Yeah, literally Deeksha and Dennis, the only 2.
Yeah, they're just beasts. Oscar killing it. And yeah, it was a 4-on-1 when Kyo actually tried to start saving that. I do like that he throws the AWP out of them, basically just accepting his fate. But look at the damage that round alone has done to the T-side economy. Their money is trash. You have to remember the last round that they won, Navura was in a 1v1 clutch. He just about manages to sneak it out, meaning, well, obviously, that he was the only one left alive. So financially, they got wrecked. And now Oscar, well, this is not a man that you want feeling confident, because him and Diha dominating the ramp. I'll be honest, if it's me, I would just be sat there going, oh, you know what? B's looking pretty good right about now. I'm feeling B. I would not be going anywhere near those 2 players. Just like, nah, you know what? Nah, you can have it. You can have the ace. We'll go bomb the other one. But for now, at least, T-side struggling. Just pistols, 1 player alive. The young Belgium trying to at least do some damage. You don't want to allow them to win a pistol round, save a couple of guns, and then come back and win a flawless round. That would be horrible. You're just setting up the CT side to succeed. Spitty, patiently waiting. There's not really a good direction to go in here. Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. That's a free kill. A second one as well. That's an AWP into his hands. Just going to chuck that one out of the map and just basically go, nope, you're not keeping this. And there's another rifle as well. Just trying to basically be as irritating as possible. I wonder if, with the amount of time, it might have just been worth keeping that AWP. But, oh well, Maka will have to buy his own if he wants it. 15 seconds left. If he is going to do something here, it has to be a round. And that's why I think that he planned to make a play in this round when he threw the AWP out, and now that he's got an M4, he's decided against it, and I bet there's a part of him that goes, should have kept the AWP. But, oh well. Still a very nice attempt. As said, this is not, you didn't want to let them get away with a flawless round, so 2 kills coming up. That is not bad whatsoever, considering the investment. That's more what you expect, Ryan, when you invest into a few Deagles. 2 kills. That's reasonable. Not 5. Definitely not 5, but that might be what actually cost Heretics the game. They are going to have a buyback in now. They're actually sticking away from the AWP. Now, whether that would have been the same choice if they'd had one for free, who knows? But back to this challenge onto the A ramp once again. Oscar wanted to go for the peak. He's not been allowed.
Going to be a slow ramp advance here from Heretics this time. Not really forcing the issue. Deeksha will actually be caught here if they're not careful. Not a bad frag grenade, to be fair. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage. Great flash, but can't quite find anything from it and gets caught out from Nivera in the end, who just crunches onto the site. Heretics' ability to execute here and get a bomb plant with little to no jewels actually being taken from Sprout is really nice, because it makes this retake just so awkward for the CT side. It would have been 5-on-5 if we didn't see that jewel come through towards back lanes.
Well, just 2 players looking to try and hold on to their weaponry here. Biddy giving it a damn good go. The bomb is going to be going off. Money again becomes an issue for Sprout. Neither team really able to get themselves into a financially viable situation. Spiddy can drop 1. Faven can probably buy. I imagine Oscar's going to be handed that AWP, so it would just leave them in a spot where It's awkward. It's very awkward. Dennis, just go play a 5-7. It's not the end of the world, but it's not what you want to have going into what could be one of the final rounds of the match. It seems like Heretics very good at stepping up exactly when they need to. Oscar this time actually going to be playing aggro on to be, very aggro on to be. But he's been left completely blind. Smoke actually going to go down by the T side, which is interesting. A little bit of a gap in it, and they are going to spot out Oscar. He's going to... But the T's, once again, very slow in the initial stages of the round. Just wait to be wasted on Sprout's side, and then they start their move forward and stack. Three players here ready to defend it. They're going to clear out the back of the sandbags, and here come the CT side. A flashbang gets them through it, but XMS. He pops 2 heads on his way forward. Oscar now the only defender in a full rotation coming in from the CT side. They need to try and stop this push, Ryan.
The downside is the 2 players they found are the 2 players that did not have the smokes for the execute, so that enables Heretics to try and go for this free plant again here as they just come up close and personal. Maka dangerously low, but unfortunately still standing, and the plant does come through. More damage dished out to XMS, but he still manages to retreat. Thankfully, there's the frag on Maka. That opens things up a little bit now as Keo and co play towards ramp. We've seen how dangerous this position is in the past, and we'll see it again once more.
That was dirty from Kiyoshima. Oh. Be missed, and Keo again is going to pick up another. It's left all, and the bomb is too far gone. He's just got to run for the hills and try and save that AWP. Love. He really has been a rock for this side, exactly when they need him to step up. His experience shines through. XMS as well. Those were great kills coming up from the 2 of them. Maka, I don't think has been overly used. I did see it more on the CT side. Both players with the same amount of entry kills. And wide, looking like some of his teammates might need a few more. Spiddy, Farven, only going to be left with pistols. You've at least got Oscar's AWP, and I imagine that means he's going to be very aggressive in this round. They need him to be. They need him to take some weapons, maybe drop some over. This is 15-13 map point to take from how they've been playing on it recently. But Sprout have way through. The question is, can they now continue this and take us to OT?
That's a very big question, Tom. We need 2 rounds back to back. Heretics seem to have the perfect... This time, though, 10 comes into play, gets 1 for his troubles, but unfortunately immediately met by Maka, who forces with the deagle. And he's actually going to make it stick here. Only good for 1 in the end, but...
The kill onto Maka actually makes all the difference. Or kill from Maka, I should say. It's him once again. He's had a good game so far, but needs to do so much. Heretics, they're going to continue their 100% win streak on Vertigo. It has become one of their home maps, a map that they are unbeaten on. But now they're going to be heading into dangerous territory with a 93% win streak for Sprout. We'll be back after a short break. Join us then.
Going through the smoke walk. She's gonna go down. Walks in with the AWP.
Position, Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on to 2. Back row tire down as well.
Always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the cursor? Oh, there we go.
LOOT.BET.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.